Dear participants, thank you for joining us today. Before we begin, we have a few friendly reminders. Once you have entered the WebEx, please make sure to stay silent and mute your mics throughout the whole program. All participants may scan the Slido QR code to drop your questions to our speaker for the Q&A session later. Participants are also reminded to scan the attendance QR code and fill in the Google form for merit purposes. The QR code and Google form link will be provided at the end of this session. Participants are also encouraged to ask questions during the Q&A session. Our program will start in a few minutes and your patience is very much appreciated. Thank you for your kind cooperation.
Dear participants, thank you for joining. Before we kickstart with our opening day, let us begin by singing the national anthem and Blue Warner song.
Kami anak alam insan Tuhan membara langit biru mencari ilmu berteman kebudimanan bina nusa bina dunia sejahtera. Uni utama ibu yang tercinta, kami doa lanjut usia bahagia. Kami janji hormati pesanmu, ilmu budi dan bakti. Anak alam insan Tuhan membara langit biru mencari ilmu berteman kebudimanan bina nusa bina dunia sejahtera. Uni utama ibu yang tercinta, kami doa lanjut usia bahagia. Kami janji hormati pesanmu, ilmu budi dan bakti. Ilmu budi dan bakti.
Now, to commence the program with blessings, I would like to call upon Muhammad Shafiq for a dua recitation.
We'll begin this lovely morning with Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim. Praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions and for those who followed his example till the day of judgment. Ya Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with UniHack 2023, we beseech Thee and are grateful towards You in favor of all the infinite blessings You have given to us as Your humble servants to live in a safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessings for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of anything that would be detrimental to the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide University Utara Malaysia to greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Grant us with valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your madratillah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your commands and neglect all sinful acts. Please forgive us for our wrongdoings and guide us to the righteous path. Ya Munzilal Barakah. Bestow peace to our beloved country, Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat, disaster, either man-made or natural. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security, prosperity upon us, our leaders, and our country. Bestow patience in us to face the challenges from you. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Shafiq. May our event be blessed and run smoothly and accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening day of UniHack 2023. I'm Sabrina.
I am Amelia, and we will be your MCs for today. We are excited to have you all here today, ready to embark on the journey of creativity, innovation, and collaboration. Firstly, let us take a moment to appreciate the incredible talent and diversity in this room. We have participants from different backgrounds and cultures, all united by their passion for technology and their desire to make a positive impact on the world.
Today, we are not just here to compete, but to learn from each other, to collaborate and innovate. We hope that by the end of this event, you will leave with new skills and new ideas. Throughout the upcoming weeks, you will have the opportunity to work with your team members and to receive feedback from our distinguished judges. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to introduce you our distinguished panel of judges for this hackathon. These individuals bring with them a wealth of expertise, experience, and passion for innovation and technology. Our first judge today is Professor Madhya Dr. Shahrul Asmi bin Mohad Yusof, who is an associate professor of the School of Computing. He carries a wealth of experience with him in the field of engineering, specializing in various areas, including speech recognition, artificial intelligence, and entrepreneurship. We are very thrilled to have him as part of our panel.
Our second judge is Dr. Azizi bin Abdul Aziz, who is a senior lecturer of the School of Computing. He has an impressive track record in robotics, cognitive engineering, and machine learning, and we are honored to have him share his expertise with us.
Our third judge is Mr. Badru Hisham Bukhori, who is the IT manager of Unity Management. He is an expert in software development with over 6 years of experience, and his insights and feedback will be invaluable to our participants.
We want to thank our judges for taking the time to be here today, for sharing their expertise and insights, and for their commitment to fostering innovation and progress.
Dear participants, now we would like to invite our first judge of the day, Dr. Shahrul, to give a brief sharing. Dr. Shahrul, the floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everybody. Okay, welcome to this UniHack competition. So I guess you guys seeing that you guys are here shows me that you are ready to compete. Okay, in a way that you want to show your capabilities in terms of development, okay, in terms of solving real problems. Okay, when I say real problems, this is what you guys need to do. Okay, so it's not just about developing, it's actual solving problems faced by the industries. Okay, so in this competition, the organizers listed around two areas that you should look upon to solve. Okay, is considered a valid problem, so you guys need to have a look to understand the situation and to try to formulate a real solution. Okay, use innovation, use technology, use your programming capabilities, especially front end and back end, okay, to solve the problems. Okay, for this round, for me as a judge, I won't consider back end as the main criteria. Okay, we will focus more on the front end. Okay, but we would like you to at least study the requirements properly. Start thinking about the solutions, okay, to the problems faced by the industries. You want to see the processes, okay, and then one of the judges, Mr. Badrul, okay, will advise you in terms of how to proceed with the development phase. Okay, for me, I would like you to focus, okay, initially on the problems itself. Right. So I think as a short introduction, okay, I think among the reasons they asked me to help out, okay, I and Mr. Badru especially, okay, we are quite active in terms of providing solutions with industries. When I said providing solutions, we engage with the industries. Okay, we need to understand what the industry wants, what the agencies wants. Okay, we are not talking about just project shop sendiri. Okay, you have to be serious in terms of this. Understand their situation, understand their real problems, then you start thinking about the solutions that suits them, you know. Okay, you can create the best solution in the world, but if the users don't use it, the value is zero. Okay, you have to really understand what the users problems faced by users. Like for example, okay, you're talking about, for me, I am Mr. Badru quite active in the agriculture type of projects. Okay, we deal with this farmers pesawah, okay, especially in Mada area on Kedah and Perlis. We develop many solutions for them, and one of them is our aplikasi banci, okay, banci subsidi. Okay, this one is to help them, okay, to expedite the process of taking banci. Okay, but when we do with them, we created a solution, we digitize the manual process, and what among the problems that we see is the end users. Okay, and the end users are still farmers and people from rural areas, especially villages. Okay, most of them doesn't have even a online bank account. Okay, and then their knowledge, a number of them, their knowledge in terms of using apps is quite limited. So this is a challenge. Okay, but it shouldn't deter you from solving their problems. Okay, there are angles of going around this. All right, so we are here at least to share our advices. Okay, in proceeding with the to formulate the solution for them, the right solution. What I meant. Okay, So with that, I think that's all from me. Okay. On the introduction part. Okay. So the host. Okay, please take over. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shafru, for your meaningful and knowledgeable sharing.
Now, we would like to call upon our next judge, Dr. Azizi. Welcome, Dr. Azizi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, and a very good morning to everybody. I hope you can hear my voice quite clear, right? Because I'm using my mobile right now. Is it okay, the sound? Anyone probably that can say, okay, good. Actually, that quite contrary from what Dr. Sharu had experienced, I'm more focused toward the idea of RD&I in a way that we need to know it's a very fine line between research, development, and innovation, where research tackle problems which might be fundamental and perhaps applied, and which is normally require a lot of effort and time. And we translate those research products into something more meaningful, because we need to know some research and everything might be only catered to explain things for scientific discovery, has nothing to do with reapplication. But some research work and output could be translated into something meaningful and impactful that can change the course of humanities through development. And another side is the innovation. Innovation do not require to have high-tech solution. Innovation, perhaps what you can do, you can create something which is a little bit twist from something that existed before. This is, I think, that one of the most strong emphasis that what we would like to have for this particular competition. Regardless what solution you wanted to do, like Dr. Sharu said, we need to know that either that's your solution, ideas and everything could be or potentially implemented to solve practical problems. So my parts here actually that we can work together and advise you to understand those concepts to the lens of science and technology. What I mean by lens of science and technology, it means that every ideas, every solution could be reproducible, could be measured, or could be created into something else, regardless platform. So this is what I can chip in and try to perhaps navigate the whole course of your work into something more meaningful. Yes, I would like to wish you all the best. And if anything, you simply can probably contact us through our email and everything. And yes, congratulations for take what we call a brave move and challenge to face this particular competition. I wish you all the best and good luck. Gambatte kudasai. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Dr. Azizi for the sharing.
Finally, we would like to welcome Mr. Baju to share a few words. Let us welcome Mr. Baju.
Hello, can you see me?
Yeah, betul.
Okay. Good morning and assalamualaikum to the fellow judges and the participants. So, my name is Badru Hisham Bimori. So I'm a IT manager for community management. I'm mostly dealing with I'm personally is a Android-based expertise. So, but I also familiar with PHP and MySQL. So so my part of this judging process is mostly a technical part. So the part of the one that the back end part at the end part usually my part is never been seen by the user. So feel free to ask me during the Q&A session what I devolve in, what my skill, what I use for my daily life as a software developer and everything. So what I need as a judge is like how well your product or your software flow from each uh, program, like for example, from the login screen, from the main menu, how well the user will click, how well the impact of the device will show to the user and everything. So that's all from me. Thank you. And feel free to ask me during Q&A because this one is a bit introduction. So if you have specific question about what I use for my software development or what app or like consider a hack that I use for expedite my coding, feel free to ask during Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baju, for the interesting and very helpful sharing. Once again, thank you very much to all the judges for imparting your knowledge with us.
Now, we will be reviewing the theme of UniHack 2023. As some of you may have already known, our theme is food security. Malaysia remains vulnerable to food insecurity in the future due to being reliant on imports for maintaining its food supply, especially for rice. Households are estimated to spend nearly 70% of their budgets on food, which means that a systematic approach is required to ensure population food needs are met. A lingering issue in regard to Malaysia's approach towards food security is the underdevelopment of its agricultural capacity. We chose this theme because we believe it represents some of the most pressing challenges facing our society today. We hope that you will rise to the challenge, think creatively, and come up with solutions that can make a real difference.
We hope that all participants are well aware of the theme, as it is time to reveal the problem statement of UniHack 2023. We believe all of our participants are eager to learn on the problem statement. So let us take a look. This problem statement requires a solution to deal with issues related to the supply chain for small agriculture enterprises with moderate to large quantity demand. We have set two requirements for this problem statement. Number one, the small agricultural enterprises must also act as suppliers. Number two, you are required to develop a real-time and accurate supply chain management system. Before we move on, here is a fun fact. Did you know that 5 years ago, Malaysia was ranked 40th on the Global Security Food Index, also known as the GSFI, as our country relied heavily on imports for essential food products? Fast forward to today, Malaysia is now at the 41st position on the GSFI. This is a result of Malaysia not producing enough food for its population and industries, as we only have an average of 45% agriculture productivity among other high-income countries.
Dear participants, let's take a moment to discuss the guidelines as well as the rules and regulations for this hackathon. Here are the guidelines. The following contents are examples of what may be included in the first work for reference purposes. To give you a general breakdown of the problem statement, this problem centers around the lack of traceability in the agricultural supply chain, making it difficult to identify the source of issues and take corrective action. An ideal solution to this problem would be through real-time tracking and monitoring of products, where the agribusiness is able to demonstrate how a product from farm to shelf was handled with the strictest of adherence to organic principles. Participants need to consider potential breakdowns of issues that others may face and their respective solutions in order to earn more marks. Here are some rules and regulations that participants should take note of. Firstly, each team is required to build a full mock-up of the finalized product. Secondly, Each team is required to develop a simple application prototype to solve the problem, which can perform a minimum of 2 functional requirements. We would like to emphasize that participants are allowed to submit mockups only without actually developing the application. However, you will be given extra marks if you are able to develop the application. Moving on, each team has to present the details of the full mockup or an mobile-based application in the video presentation. The video presentation should be within 10 to 15 minutes. After the deadline of each stage of work submission, your work will be uploaded to Google Drive for judging purposes. Here are some important dates to keep in mind. On the 18th of April 2023, all teams are required to submit the slides for breakdowns of issues and requirements. There will be a live pitching session to present your breakdowns. On the 22nd of April, all teams must submit the slides for the mockup and your video presentation. On the 9th of May, all teams will have a Q&A session with the judges.
Now, let us move on with the introduction of our judging criteria. Our judges will be evaluating your performances based on the following 5 factors. The first criterion is problem definition. You will be judged on how well defined the problem is related to the problem statement that your project is addressing. This includes the relevance and significance of the problem to the community. The second is innovation. The judges will evaluate you based on how innovative your proposed solution is and whether it is new or unique. Our third criterion is feasibility. You will be evaluated based on the feasibility of your team's proposed solution and whether it can be realistically implemented to achieve the desired impact. Our fourth criterion is impact. We want to know the potential impact of the proposed solution on the problem and how it can significantly improve the agriculture supply chain of small enterprises. Our last criterion is presentation and implementation. You will be evaluated based on how well your team presents and explains your solution. Besides, the judges will also check on whether the implementation plan and timeline are feasible and well defined. Do take note that each criterion is worth 20 points. The total score of your team will be calculated by summing up the scores for each criterion with a maximum score of 100 points. These criteria will help our judges to make fair and unbiased decisions, and we encourage all participants to keep them in mind as you perform. Now, we would like to address the technical requirements for our UniHack. For your information, these technical requirements are specifically for teams that have developed an app. Teams that develop a mockup are not required to comply with these requirements. The technical requirements are as follows. Each participant should have a GitHub account to upload your code to GitHub. Second, you can use any programming languages that you are comfortable with while considering the compatibility with your devices. Third, your software or application must be compatible with the intended device on judging day with installation instructions provided. Next, the repository should have a readme.md file explaining the problem statement, solution, requirements, and installation instructions. Your team will also be awarded extra marks for clear and concise explanation of the problem, statement, and solution, well-documented code with inline comments and clear naming conventions, and a comprehensive readme.md file. Your software or application must be functional and provide an easy-to-use and effective solution for the problem statement. Your software or application should also have a well-designed user interface that is intuitive and easy to navigate. Participants should perform unit testing and integration testing to ensure the software or applications are functioning correctly. Lastly, Participants must submit the GitHub repository link with the software or application available and running on the intended devices on judging day. That's it for our technical requirements. We appreciate your cooperation in ensuring that these requirements are met. Dear participants, we have now reached the Q&A session for today. Participants may scan the QR code or click the link provided in the chat box to drop your questions in the Slido. All of you are highly encouraged to send in your questions to clear any doubts you have about UniHack. Now, let us now give a warm welcome to our directors of UniHack, Tony and Shafiq, and our esteemed judges to answer your questions. Please welcome.
Okay, so we'll start with the Q&A session. But before that, I do want to clarify that there was a little bit of a mistake just now. Your mockups and video presentation for the final thing. So your mockup and if you do a prototype, we're not expecting you to finish it in 4 days. Sorry, 6 days, I think. The 22nd is when we will open up submission. So if you do happen to finish it very early, you can just set it in. But the last final day is the 4th. So don't worry, we are not that cruel. We are going to give you more than enough time to finish everything. Okay. So with that said, we're going to go in with the Q&A. So please do give your questions and everything because we want you guys to understand as much as you can during this opening event. So I think for the first question, what's the most challenging project for an IT project, for an IT professional, for an IT project in any industry? I don't think me or Tony will be able to answer this since we haven't been in the industry. So I would like to ask maybe Encik Badrul or maybe any other judges to answer this question.
Okay, I can answer this. Okay, mostly IT project is a bit unique because each customer is a bit different. So like for example, I can be two very big different for my own project, which is one is for MADA, agriculture, and one is for TNB, which is they ask me to do their dashboard for their server, mean like showing the status of the server, like is it down, what is the voltage and everything from their server, then also a ticketing system about a report if the server down or anything. That one is TMB, while the agriculture is like they ask me to do e-census, meaning like before this, they have to personally go to the MADA center to make the bancian, meaning like to declare their own tanah to the government, that's to get the bantuan from the government. So what we do there is like we create an app, so like any user or any pesawah that literally have 3 or 4 line don't have to go to each pejabat tanah, because before that each pejabat tanah have to go every time for each tanah that is different place. For example, if you got tanah in Changlun, you have to go pejabat tanah Changlun. Then if you go Jitra, you have to go pejabat tanah Jitra. So there's a requirement from the customer that pesawah that is living far. For example, mostly they living in the KL that have tanah in Kedah, have to literally take a 1 day or 2 day holiday just to come and to handle this in the pejabat tanah. So the technical challenge for both of these is totally different. For example, for agriculture, for MADA, they are more like kampong style. They don't care what they want as long as settled. They also have many red tape. For example, if you want to proceed, we deliver a project before we get an agreement from the higher up, they will not proceed. And they also take a long time to give any approval. But the good thing about them is like we can propose a solution to them, and they actually give us almost like 90% persetujuan lah. Consider anything where we propose, they actually accept because they also want to see what we propose. While for TNB, they already know what they want. So they are quite rigid with their requirement. And if they literally give us the mockup, they say do like this mockup and integration with this database and this data. With, for example, they use a Zabbix system to monitor their server. They say have to integrate it with this, and there's no if you can, you must do it. So that is the technical challenge because and also the TNB is quite fast. Every week have to go to the meeting and every week have to show progress to them. If not, they will not satisfied. So that is most challenging project for me because one is like easy, but they don't know what they want. One is hard, but it's quite easy to work with them because they already understand what they want. And if we do what they want, they already say, okay, can proceed, can proceed, can proceed. Okay, that's for me. Any Dr. Sharo also can add on, I think.
Okay, let me share a slide. Okay, can you allow me to share? About the agriculture issues. Okay. Can you guys see this? Right. Okay. So this is one of the projects that Mr. Badrol mentioned just now. Okay, we engaged with MADA, okay, on this project, integrated smart agriculture farming, but I name it INSAF, okay, for this INSAF Naglada. Okay, we did a webinar on the 23rd of February. Okay, we able to talk to so many, there's around 76 participants, and most of them are from agriculture industries, okay, throughout Malaysia. So, so among the objective, okay, we need to understand, okay, why our padi, the output, okay, is not according to what we need. Okay, it's less than what we need, and the quality is also is not that good. So on the issues we identified, the first issues, okay, the main issues is basically in terms of the information. So if you guys can have a look, okay, can try to suggest solutions, okay, in order to solve this problem, okay, you're welcome to. But bear in mind that getting right information is to go ground level. And ground level to get information is not easy. It's not about doing IoTs and so on just to take information, okay, just to collect information. It's going to be quite expensive. So you have to think something practical, okay, in order to do this. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, I let you guys ponder on this and then brainstorm on the right solution. Okay, first is information. Second is when you have the information, you need a database. Okay, you need a database, okay, where you can, after having a proper database, basically you can do a lot of information, a lot of systems after that. Then in terms of notification, the movement of information is also important, okay? But as I said just now, requires the first two to be settled first. Okay, then monitoring. Okay, you need to do proper monitoring. When I say proper monitoring, when you monitor, when there's an issue happening, it should trigger an action. Okay, this is also one of the things that you can consider as a solution. Okay, trigger an action to solve the solution. Because when I talking about problems in the padi area, okay, sawah padi especially, okay, when there are attacks by pest, okay, serangga, perosak, penyakit, okay. Even 1 or 2 days delay can affect 10 or 20% or more in terms of the harvest itself, you know, in terms of quality of the padi. So that's why here we cannot play the waiting game. Okay, you should trigger action from the agencies and also from the stakeholders especially. Okay, what need to be done. Okay, and then the kurang data tepat yang menyeluruh. Okay, talking about the information itself. Then after having all the points on top, we need to have an IoT system or some sort of intelligence system in order to proceed. Okay, this one is can be done if, as I said, we have the right information, we have accurate information, okay, timely information. So the last 2 points, no motivation for the end users especially, okay, something that you can study. Okay, this one is social science, okay, you can even include. Okay, talking about technologies, okay, you have to include the social life of pesawah also. Okay, you have to consider them. Okay, you have to consider the way of thinking, their mentalities. As I said, they are among the stakeholders here. Alright. Then tiada kaedah yang sesuai untuk dapatkan maklumat. Okay, this one is a link back to the first point. Okay, so memang cadangan penyelesaian. Okay, no mind. Okay, this is about monitoring. Maklumat pesawah, proses penanam padi, isu serangan, pendapatan hasil, aduan. So among the issues, the padi model is not accurate. When I say padi model, it's a model to calculate the output, the yield of padi. Okay. Second is information. Third is database. Fourth is expert system. Fifth, you need a network. Now the supply chain and so on. Okay, you need a proper network, integrated. Then information movement, especially hebahan and notification, monitoring, and here that among the projects that we did is the banchan itself. So basically, this is the process of padi. From the start, preparing the soil until the end, harvesting the padi itself. Okay, so there are many processes in between and there are many issues. So they have to follow a certain scheduled process of each. If you can see here, okay, you have to put baja, you have to put pesticides, things like that. Okay, so this is just a guide. This is just a guide for the farmers. Okay, and so for the agencies. But although it's a guide, but it's in a very important guide because certain times they miss the time, you know. They are supposed to follow, but they miss. They may delay for a few days or even few weeks, but it also can jeopardize the quality of the padi itself. Okay, the soil, the quality of soil, the quality of padi. Okay, it may not if you just say you do the penanaman a bit too late, okay, it may not be strong enough to handle changes in terms of climate. When you have high winds, okay, they may have a problem, things like that. Okay, so but basically this is something that we suggested to them. So what you can see is if you think you can suggest something from this screen, okay, you're welcome to do that. Right? I hope this one should give you some ideas on how to proceed with your proposal. Right? So that's all from me on this part. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Arjun. So I think it is all right to move on to the next question. So what type of software would you recommend to use for the mockup? Okay, so I think I think Tony will be answering this question. So Tony, if you don't mind.
So what type of software we recommend to use for the mockup? We will recommend our participants use Figma to design a mockup. However, participants are open to other alternative applications as well.
Okay. So any suggested programming language or software to develop the application? Okay, so with our competition design, we are going to be quite open to the use of language or any software that you want to use, lah, basically. It also depends on what you want to develop. You have to remember that maybe some things would be the best on maybe a web style app or either a mobile app. And depending on that platform, you have to choose the correct language and which language you're strong at, right? So we are quite open to any language, but you have to develop it, lah. Don't just go around and just copy paste code. We are open to open source, but you do have to make it your own as well. Okay, so again, just to clarify, any programming language, you can use Flutter, Java, Python, whichever. All right, so hopefully that answers the question. Is it really a must to participate in the live pitching session on 18th of April? We would highly recommend for all of you to be present and to at least participate in pitching your ideas, because this is going to be, if you're in a team, then it is a team effort, right? But due to any unforeseen circumstances or an emergency or something that really cannot be avoided, just send us a heads up, and then you can just not come, right? But if possible, please do come, because we do want to see your skills in not just programming and developing and designing, but also in pitching your ideas to, let's say, potential clients in the future, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Okay, so this is quite related to Figma and the design, so I think I'll pass it back to Tony. Tony, you want to answer?
Yeah, it's totally fine to be only producing a prototype and Figma is allowed it. Participants are allowed to submit a mockup without actually developing the application. However, you were given extra marks up to 30% if you are able to develop an actual application. And this application can develop with front-end knowledge only also.
So yeah, to add on to that, you can just do the prototype, but the reason why we say you have to give a mock-up is because we are afraid that you won't be able to finish a fully developed product, right? The prototype doesn't have to be too beautiful, but the mock-up has to be totally full. Like, it has to look like what you want it to look, and like function how you want to function. So that's the idea. Okay. So can I ask PM Dr. Shahrul to develop a solution in solving his current problem in his agricultural project? As far as I know, I think he has solved the problem that he talked about just now, but I can't confirm. So, Dr. Shahrul, do you want to give your thoughts on this question?
Smiling reading this question. Okay, I may miss. Okay, can the person asking this question ask me verbally on this? Well, I want to clarify on this question. Do you mean that you want me to develop for you or what? Because for us, we already have solutions. Only thing is, frankly speaking, it's like this. Okay, you guys, when you have developed, or when you have a lot of experience in terms of doing projects. For me, Mr. Badro is the one doing project. Okay, I engage on especially with the industries. Okay, but we've already developed so many systems. So up to a point that this one I'm sharing with you guys. Okay, you will have a lot of experience and up to the point that you say you don't have a product anymore. Have a product, but you have solutions. Okay, so if you know what problems faced by the customers, what are the issues faced, you can propose solution. When I say propose solution, you are no longer a developer, but you are a solution provider. Okay, you have a lot of works, or you have a lot of projects, you have a lot of systems you already developed. So up to a point that you just need to customize them only. Okay, when I say customize, we are not talking about doing a project for 4-5 months or more than that. We are talking in terms of days to maximum 2 weeks or 1 month. Okay, we integrate our solution into we integrate our system into one proper solution. So for the agriculture, we are at that phase. Okay, the examples that I showed just now to you, we already have the templates for those solutions. We just need the proper details on how to implement. That's the only difference, we need to know how to implement. Okay, when I say implement, you need to really understand how the process is being practiced, okay, at the client side. All right. So I don't know whether this one answers the questions or not. Okay, if you want more clearer explanation, you can ask me now. All right. So back to you, Traffic.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. Again, is it possible if we just get a shout out from the person who asked this question? So maybe you can discuss it more later on. Yeah, I don't know. If not, we'll move on to the next question. Okay, so we'll be moving on. All right. So does the app should be developed in a mobile or web-based interface? As I said just now, it highly depends on what you want to do. Or yeah. So like let's say your application, your idea doesn't really work well on a desktop, but it works very well on a mobile, then go ahead and do mobile. We are open to either solution. Right? So yeah, and like let's say your solution works on an app like it's best on an Apple Watch or something. I don't know what you guys might come up with. Why not? Right? We're gonna be open, we're gonna be quite flexible with things. But yeah, it doesn't matter what type of platform you guys are gonna be developing on. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. One thing is okay. I think they are a bit they are not sure about what mockup they need to do.
Sure.
Okay. I'll share something here. Let me share my script. Sure. Okay, there are two choices of doing the mockups. Okay. Show one of them first. This is one of it. You can show using Figma. This one I prepared in using my PDF because I want to share with the farmers. And basically, it's like this. You explain step by step what you need to do and why the buttons, why you need to press and so on. Okay. So the next, okay, goes to this screen, explains, okay, what you need to do, what information you need to put in. Okay. So in other words, you are guiding the users in terms of using your application or using your system. So this one is considered mockup. Okay, you need to explain properly. Like for example, let me show another screen here. Okay, this is more detailed. Okay, this is more detailed. So you can even use Figma to guide. For example, like if you use Figma, you click over here, it goes to another screen. Okay, so you have to have a proper explanation why it goes over there. Okay. So in other words, the button should be interactive. Button should be interactive here. You click over here, okay, this is what happens, okay, and so on. At least you know what's going on with the system, what's happening actually. It's not a real system, okay, it's not, there's no, this is only a mock-up, but it's a clear mock-up. It's going to be easier for a developer to develop the system based on the mock-up because everything is clear over there, what needs to be done and so on. Okay, that is what we want you to do now. Okay, I know the time is not sufficient or enough for you to create a real system, but to me, go crazy. Okay, but make sure that it's clear. Okay, it can be something that you think, okay, if it's done properly, it can really solve a problem, the issues. Show us the mock-up of how it works. Okay, for me, for us, developing is not a problem, but having a good system design, okay, is equally important issues here. All right. So, okay, thank you very much. Stop now.
All right, so I hope that answers the question. And for the next question, what is the difference between mockup and prototype? So, as you saw just now, from the slides that Dr. just shared, mockup is basically just design, and I would say at most is just like use Figma, so you have the introduction and everything, right? But behind it, there's actually no code yet. So a prototype is basically what we're looking for is actual code and actual running application. So something that it is executable, right? Technically, Figma is executable, but you're not really coding anything inside. It's more like that one is more like drag and drop, and then you kind of just like connect prototypes here and there. But what we're looking for in actual prototype is a functioning application that you can run on the device. So, for example, like maybe for Android devices, right? You want to like run it off of Android Studio, kind of thing. You have the code behind it, all the logic, connection to the database and everything. If you have a database, and you want to see it work properly. So maybe exception handling, so on. So, well, that's what we mean by prototype. Actual code, actual runnable programs that we can see how you guys like structure it and everything. So just to clarify in simple terms, mockup is more to design, prototype is just functionalities and the actual code itself. All right. Any judges would like to hop on this just in case
Is it possible for me to share?
you would like to take it? Oh, sure. By all means.
Unshare first. So,
Yeah, can we unshare the screen for a bit? Thank you.
Okay, share. Can you see? Okay, this is for example the mockup for we do for TMBR. So this is what this is actually done in Figma. Okay, this is for example this one, if you click you share, you can give the file like this, you can share to us or to the organizer. It will look totally like this. This one is just a page. Okay, a page that literally like this explain everything. Okay, then if you on the Figma itself, you actually can compile a prototype. It will become like this. Okay, on prototype like this, you actually it's a clickable. You can click here, then you click this button, it pop up here, then you can but this one so you can pop up here, you will go here, click here and everything. This is what we call a prototype for Figma. Like you can scroll like totally like real system, but it just this one is like literally just you type everything, not coding. Then you can press next, what happened? Click here, equal profile, it, like this side, then you can click audit or anything. There. Okay, that's all I want to share. There is the example of this is what we call a design design mockup. This is called a prototype. In an industry lah. So that's how.
Okay, this one is again without any coding. Okay, at least you can show how the functions. When you talk about Figma, okay, there's a lot of tutorials online. You can have a look and learn. Okay, but worst come to worst, if you want to use PowerPoint, okay, it also can be done in PowerPoint. Okay, meaning that when you click, it goes to next page. So in other words, you can make it interactive also. You can put a link to slides. Okay, worst come to worst if you want to do something simple. Okay, but again, to me, it's not about using Figma or PowerPoint. It's more in terms of mockup itself. It should be clear. It should be navigate. It should be properly, and it should able to solve the targeted problems. Okay, so that is much more important. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Encik Badrul and Dr. Sharul. Just to make it clear, the difference between our mockup and prototype is the prototype isn't actually the Figma prototype, correct? It's more on the coding logic and like coding side, okay? Okay, so just want to clarify that with everybody here. So yeah, but as always, we do want to clarify that what's most important is your idea on how to solve the problem and what you will do to help get you there, you know. So the design and everything is important, but what's more important is how your design helps to bring you to that solution, you know. So please do keep that in mind. Right. So is there any more questions? And anybody else would like to ask questions, feel free to do so. If your Slido isn't working, you can also just drop it in chat. I would be reading there as well.
Maybe one thing I can suggest, okay, don't start, it's better if you don't start from scratch. Okay, you just study what are available solutions out there, okay, and also you improve. You innovate, you improve, okay, you add on, things like that. So it's going to be much better. To me, rather than start from zero, at least get ideas from what's already available. This one, you need to do a proper study, like for us nowadays also, we are more in terms of, as I said, customizing solutions. Okay, it's not about starting from scratch. Okay, because time is quite important, okay, to a customer. If you meet them, you said, okay, you have they have a problem. Okay, we can give you a solution by next week. They'll be much more happier. Even better, we can give you to try next week. Okay, try the solution next week. If you can reach that stage, you already have a lot of experience under your belt. All right.
Okay, just to add on that, Dr. Sharul idea. For me, I suggest you guys go to a website called dribble.com. This website actually a website for portfolio for user. For like usually the app.
But type dekat ni chat.
Okay. Okay, this website actually a design website for graphic designer or anything to play out the idea. So this one is not like you can take their coding or Figma or anything. They just give you an idea how they do the app, example of how the app supposed to look like. So you can get inspiration from there, how the button supposed to look like, what color is a good color for idea. Sometimes they already think for you, so you just take from them. Okay, that's my input lah for
Chat tak keluar. Chat tak keluar.
Huh?
Tak keluar.
Tak keluar lagi.
To send.
I can see it. Dribble with 3bs.com.
Oh,
Ah.
okay, maybe I don't know, something wrong with my web.
Okay, that's all.
All right, thank you.
And also, one more thing is that if you want to find button, you can find a flat icon. If you want find background, find in freepik.com. Because this one is for example, it's kind of free lah, but it has some limitation. There's a free version and the expensive version that you have to pay to get a certain type of button or anything. Okay. That is my input. So if you say whatever you want, so if you have any more further question or any tips that you want from me, just blast me a question and I try to answer as best I can. Okay, that's all. Okay.
Questions?
Okay, thank you very much to our judges. I don't think we have any more questions as of now. So I think I think we're ready to move on from the Q&A session. No? Okay, so back to you, MCs. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the participants for all your questions, and big thanks to Tony, Shafiq, and all the judges for answering them. Now, to commemorate the event, we would like to invite all participants of UniHack to open your cameras and use our virtual background for a group photo session. You will be given around 1 minute to prepare.
Okay, thank you, MC, and I hope everyone is ready. So now I will take the first photo. Wait, I see some of you still running. So maybe I will wait for more 10 seconds. Okay, so now please keep smiling and I will take the first photo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait, I need to go to the second page. So for the second page, so keep smiling again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we will take a second photo with the GDSC logo here, GDSC post.
No.
GDSC pause here. Yeah, okay. So get ready, smile, and ready, 1, 2, 3. So this is the first page, and I will go for the second pages. And ready, 1, 2, 3. And okay, that's all. Thank you, everyone. So now I will pass back the floor to our MC.
Okay, thank you.
Dear participants, we have now arrived at the end of our UniHack 2023 opening day. All participants are required to scan the QR code or click on the link provided in the chat box to fill in the Google form for your attendance and merit purposes. The Google form will only be open for 10 minutes.
On behalf of Google Developer Student Clubs, we would like to remind you that this is not just a competition. We are here to learn from each other, to share ideas, and to work together towards a common goal. We do encourage you to network, make new friends, and learn from the diverse experiences of your fellow participants.
That will be all from us today. We wish you all the best, and we cannot wait to see what innovative solutions you will come up with. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.